Welcome to a new video. Remember, I'm simply dude on the internet. You're gonna get wrecked if you listen to me. So let's jump into this video. So we're gonna check out the whole ecosystem. We're gonna look at some of the macro things, including Bitcoin, the dominance, and all of the other relevant things. So do leave your coin suggestions or requests in the chat, and I'll try and get to all of them as swiftly as possible. So over here we have the Bitcoin chart. This is the weekly chart. We have a beautiful, very, very powerful weekly close over here. This is the start of the new weekly. So where do we think this might be going? If we look at previous cycles and we pull up our favorite fib tool from the high to the low, we can see that this first wave tends to peak out right into the 61.8. And it really doesn't close a candle below the 50%. This is the 50% over here. And this is the 61.8, just touching it before getting rejected. Let's see what we can see at the 2015 cycle. Bottom to the top, we can see this first run topping out once again, just touching the 61.8, literally on the dot, and then moving down. So if we then come to what is going on in this cycle, we'll just do that same thing. And I'm just going to remove the divergences here, as it's not really very important just yet. Do we see the 61.8 being hit before we do get a significant retracement? If that is to happen, we can see a nice run up into this area and then maybe a rejection to retest these breakout levels over here. That's what I think is going to happen. The timing of this, I think, might be happening. Maybe the dump coincides with the release of the ETF, because buy the rumor, sell the news, right? The ETF will be bearish when it releases. Maybe this happens before the halvening. The halvening is going to be in this area over here. Or maybe we pump into the halvening and then this is the halvening over here around the areas, right? There's no way of really knowing until the blocks are mined. So something like that, wherever this happens, if this happens on the halvening, if it happens on the release of the ETF, this is a strong support level. By now we can see how it's acted as resistance multiple times, popping through, and that's what I think this cycle might look like. And then by the start of 25 we get the massive blow off top. We've got about 15 weeks or 15 months. Now if we just do this to the monthly, that's the 3-month. We can see how long it takes from the lows to break above this consolidation area. It takes about 22 months. Let's do the same at the previous cycle, and then we'll come back to 23 months. So if we do this and do 20 to 23 months, we might even just break out of this area, the line over here, by what's that, August, maybe July of 2025. So it looks something like this, right? It's going to be hard to draw that. Maybe we hit 48k, we do a retracement, we move sideways for a bit and break out through this area over there. So until then, the altcoins will be dragged along. And remember, when BTC does this massive move like it did in December of 2020, the altcoins tend to be left behind. And the altcoins do poorly when the Bitcoin chart, the Bitcoin dominance chart goes higher, or their USD values do well, but they don't outperform BTC. I think Bitcoin dominance heads all the way to this 60% level. That is also the 61.8 before we get a rejection. That would spell the end of Bitcoin's surge or Bitcoin will continue to move up, but the altcoins will start to outperform here. So we get a move up into the 61.8 area and down we go. I just need to pause this. Okay. So that is our macro outlook. If we just quickly go over the market caps, and I'm going to run through them quite quickly. This is the total. This is everything combined with BTC. We're still haven't broken out, but we have poked our head above this massive W, this market structure that we had here, these higher lows. This is the monthly chart. We have poked above it. We are trying to get above it. But this looks really good. I mean, we've got these higher lows all the way up. And yeah, I mean, this looks really positive, but this is the whole crypto market cap sitting at 1.25 trillion. We peaked out at 3 trillion, the previous one. Let's see how high we might go in the next bull run. Maybe hit 4 trillion and even 6.7 trillion. Long ways to go. Lots of gains to be made. Let me just put my earphones back in. So yeah, we're literally on the edge of breaking out here on the total market cap, which is positive. Many are still calling this a bear market and the lower prices, but I mean, this is the breakout level here. We're literally flirting with it now, and it's about to break out. Let's see how high it goes before it gets a rejection. This is going to look a lot like the Bitcoin chart, right? So at the 38.2 actually doesn't go that high as BTC. So the 38.2 sits at 1.6 trillion, the area over here. So we move up here, get a rejection, retest this breakout level, and higher we go. And I don't think there's any data. Yeah, there's not enough data for us to go back there. So I'm not gonna, should I go through all of the, so this is the market cap excluding stable coins. Still a ways away of breaking out. The total market cap 3, this is the market cap excluding BTC and ETH. Still hasn't broken out. The breakout level is at 470 billion. Others are the smaller cap coins. Interestingly enough, we have in fact broken out here. So the larger altcoins are holding back a bit, but this like BTC has already broken out. So that's quite interesting because we see the same pattern on Pulse Chain, but we are already broken out to this area. We're already starting to retrace to retest these breakout levels on Pulse Chain, the old ecosystem. So this is others. This is the smaller coins. And that's really interesting as we are breaking out. So lots of the BTC maxis will tell you that BTC is the only thing that's going to perform this market cycle, yet some of these lower cap coins are already breaking out, and we can see the same with Pulse. And let's just go to Pulse on that note. I don't want to remove these drawings, but let's just take away some of these indicators. Just a summary on those indicators, we are pulling back from them. They have peaked, we're in extreme bought areas, and I told you guys in the previous episode, it was a while, a few days ago, so do check it out and listen to what I said there. I said that the indicators did look very, very high, and it would be healthy to see a nice pullback, which we have now gotten. We have this slight downtrend. This is a measured move that I did on the 4 hourly. We had this M here, and this is the measured move. So all I did was from the breakout point, then you just extend it to the bottom where the breakout level is. Now this is the opposite of a W. If I just invert the chart for you guys, you'll see this is a beautiful double bottom, right? And the same way you measure the breakout of the double bottom to the top, that's your measured move right there. So, I mean, we can analyze it like this. You got your dump, which in this case is the pump, right? I just inverted this chart. We get our beautiful double bottom, or our W, which I talk about forever, right? Double bottom with higher lows. We get our breakout level. This looks like it wants to retest this level, right? This is generally what the patterns do, is they break out and then they retest this level. This could have been the retest back here, but it's starting to turn around again now. There's nothing bearish here for us to come down. And if we just go back to the daily, this is simply just the retest of this breakout level. And I'm going to remove the fib because it's getting a little bit too many lines. We can see the W here, right? And this is a large W if we just extend it there with multiple different W's inside of this. So, but this is just the breakout of this level, and we can see the measured move from the bottom to the top. And if we extend it, we overextended that, right? We not only met the target, but we went much higher. So still very healthy. In Wyckoff accumulation theory, this is called, if we come down here and find support here, which would look something like this, right? This is called the sign of strength, SOS. Because the market accepted these buys here and people find value down here. So yeah, that is still very, very positive for us to come down and retest these levels. And you can see how many times it acted as resistance, finally broke through. So you would expect this to be held as support. By then, our indicators would be beautifully reset. We can see how high we got in the RSI here. We're already moving down very, very quickly. We have this downtrend, which is now rejected for the third time. All I did was attach it to the right there, so it's as accurate as it possibly can be. So it's rejected now again. What you generally want to see with downtrends is you want to see a W on the other side of the downtrend. And yeah, so that is what the swing traders will wait for. They'll wait for higher lows at the other side of the downtrend before taking their long. And they will even wait for a higher high, which would be there. And they will take their long over there. Okay, so that is Pulse. Let's get to your suggestions over here. And we'll just scroll to the bottom, so we can get everybody their fair chance. So for the culture, Igloo Bamboo asks if we can look at Bana. And I have this on my chart. I let my guys know in Telegram, which is part of my group, that I got into this. It was all the way back here, this exact area right here. Right there. So we've gone up. I've measured it. It's been like 38x from where I got in. But I've been selling halves on doubles. You never know which coin is the one that's going to do insane gains, right? You just have to stick to your strategy. These divergences, so there were bearish divergences forming here on the RSI. As price went higher, yet the indicator went lower. This has now been invalidated as the RSI has made a new higher high at 83, and the previous one was at 80, and before that at 81. So this bearish divergence has been invalidated, but I'm still selling halves on doubles all the way up. Value for Bana is down here in the reload zone, right in this area here. This has left the train station. Now I don't know how high this is going to go. We can do fib extensions to see how high we might go. You can see how these areas react to the fib extensions. The first one over there, you can see how it acted as resistance, consolidated and moved higher. Acted as resistance at the 2.618, found support twice and went higher. Our next fib level is the 8.66, which is above a penny over here. Maybe we stop there, we could go higher. There is another one up here, but that's another 2x from there. RSI is relatively high. This is the nosebleed section. It is dangerous chasing these things up here. If you really want to get some, you would need to wait for the 61.8 to be hit. Can't be chasing it up here. We can see where most of the volume was traded. And then we start seeing some really good buy zones. If it continues higher, all the fib is used for is you can just move the fib higher as the price moves. And you can see how the reload zone moves as well. So yeah, that's Bana. It looks good. It's made me some nice profits. So let's go on to the next one. Millie asks up token. I'm just gonna do one of each person. And I don't really want to look at Zen. I had my 100-day mints come out recently, and I didn't even mint them because I think it's like $12 worth. I mean, probably minted it with that amount. Like, that's just stupid. There's no reason for me to mint it. And I just left it, not minting it. Up token. This is the daily chart. Very, very wiki. 47k liquidity, so not bad. Just this wick here is very, very concerning as it went pretty much almost all the way to the lows, which doesn't look good. The only thing we can maybe look at is some of the indicators. Also not really pretty. There is some bullish divergences here. This price is going lower, yet the indicator is higher. So this is a strong divergence which can reverse the price, to be fair. You are inside of the reload zone, so I mean, if you really like this coin, this is where you should be interested. You have location, which is inside of the reload zone. You have indicator confirmation, which is the indicator going higher and price going lower, but not confirmed just yet. It might take a little bit of time. I don't like this wick because wicks and tails like to be eaten. So you should go down and refill this whole wick, unfortunately, because that is what the rule tells you. So yeah, I mean this bullish divergences can easily be invalidated if this just continues lower, but a positive sign at least. Let's quickly look at Zen then. Probably on Ethereum because he says and Zen even if it's not on Pulse. A little pop. This wants to come down again. If we look at the RSI, this is the 3-day chart. It looks pathetic on the 3-day chart, that indicator. Not the chart itself. I don't hate these things. I don't date them. I simply just trade them, right? You got really oversold, so it looks a lot like Hex. So this needs to come down. Not really oversold. You're still in the bullish control zone, bouncing off the 61.8. I expected this to come all the way down to at least the breakout level. That's the 78.6 level, if not lower. Raymond Ray, what's up, dude? Tech dude, nobody likes Teddy anymore. I scooped up a sale. This is where you should be getting some Teddy. I've already nibbled some. I might actually get some more because people are depressed, and I see I don't want to say X maxis because I think that's a ridiculous argument. It's just a way to get people down to have something to say about them. I would consider myself a X maxi, but I speculate with meme coins, right, and any other token which I can get at cheap prices, and I think that's going to go higher. I just think it's a cope. You've been talking about Banahans. I have. Just rewind a little bit. That's the first token I covered, but just to summarize, it's been doing really well. It's been doing really well for me. I let everybody know in my Telegram channel. You can get the info in the link in the description if you want to join it. But I've been selling halves and doubles, and if you're gonna buy here, you're buying my doubles. It's very risky. It doesn't mean it can't go higher. I have no idea how high it's going to go. That's why I blindly sell 50% on a double, every double. It is in the no split section, and I'm just going to be honest with you. Even though I wanted the price to go higher, like I don't, can't give financial advice. I can't tell you not to buy here. The RSI is very high as well. Hi Hans, could you please check WBTC? Yeah, let's do one of your guys's. Got it down here somewhere. Trapped BTC, very, very volatile. Every time I look at it, it's bouncing around. You can see before I remove these things is where the areas that is green is where value is at. You can see how it's, now this is the USD value, which I generally don't look at. We can see how it gets into these areas and just boom, pops out, right? Now let's look at the wrapped BTC side. Still inside the reload zone here in the short term. RSI, there's no really bull divs here for wrapped BTC or copied BTC. You can see most of the volume was traded at this 1.25 pulse per wrapped BTC. This is called the point of control. The market tends to just come straight back to these areas. So we are forming these higher lows here, or a nice W, if you can see it. You can put it on the line chart. You can see the nice W. It's not confirmed yet, not broken out yet. Technically still in the reload zone. If you really love BTC, I can't fault the little old lady for getting some here, expecting it to go lower if it does. If it doesn't, you have an exposure to this chart. You can see this W wherever it comes in. If it comes in here, that's great. If it comes down here, that's even better. So you can get it cheaper. But if you're already loaded up, we obviously wanted this to go. So yeah, it's in the reload zone. It's where we should be interested. We can then do another fib tool from this area, put off the log chart. I mean, we're in the longer time frame reload zone. We're in the shorter time frame reload zone if you want to count out this wick, but there was money traded here as it wicked up all the way up during the wrapped BTC farms. Yeah, so this is where you should be interested. If you want some, it could go lower, and I would get more if it goes lower. That's why you need to manage your risk. That means not throwing everything in one coin. I risk very small percentages, like even 1% of my overall portfolio is a lot. And I don't exceed 5% in any which coin. So I can buy 5 times. Every time it goes lower, I can buy more. And I don't mind missing the bottom or missing out. I just get it as it goes lower. So that's BTC. Ions, okay. Are there any actual ways that BBC could rug on 9inch, or that farming doesn't go as planned and people get burned in ways not mentioned? Honest questions. So the decentralized exchanges, that Pancake Fork is probably the one of the most used protocols if we don't look at basic ERC20 copies. So it's been audited, it's been looked at extensively, even on Pulse Chain by now with all of the different forks. There's Spark Swap, there's, I don't even know all of them, obviously Pulse X. And I think that the Pulse release guys would have by now found an issue if there is an issue. If not, I'd be very surprised if they haven't found anything to look at. They have several audits, which you can go read apparently. But you still need to manage risk, right? You're not going to put in your whole portfolio in a farming protocol. You will, I mean, even if the price wrecks you, there's no reason to take that amount of risk if you are concerned about the protocol rugging you, right? You always need to manage your risk. You can't be putting everything, right? Like I'm dabbling with like maybe 2 or 3% of my whole portfolio on it, and I'm doing really, really well. Like I gave everybody the game plan way before it, and it's playing out perfectly. Like I don't know if I mentioned the BBC way of playing it, but if not, I'm not going to share it here. You need to join my Telegram group because those guys actually deserve to hear what I'm doing and what I'm thinking about what's going to happen. There's a BBC farm releasing today, and I'm going to give you some alpha. Go look at what the incentive token did when the farm's released. So I don't know if it's going to rug. I don't think so. Hexy Bastard is docs. He shows his face. So if he's going to rug, he's met people in the Hex ecosystem. So he's going to be pretty screwed if he rugs the protocol. If it gets exploited some way, there's nothing you can do about that, right? But then again, manage risk. Don't put in your life saving in it. What's up, Wheels Crypto? So that is all of the comments on YouTube. So do throw in more coins if you want me to take a look at. Just to summarize Wrapped BTC, inside the reload zone could go lower. There's no bullish divergences, but you are in the location where you should be interested. A nice little higher lows here. I think this continues to consolidate, maybe goes even a little bit lower, and I could be wrong. It could just be breaking out here and making all-time highs. This chart has been moving sideways for quite a while. Yeah, and I don't really know what more to say. We are still holding above this previous level up here, so that's that. Let's look at these other guys. And Minu. So Minu has been lots of people talking about it, even though it's been down quite a lot. Let's look at Titan X. So Minu has gone lower. He had this wick here that needs to be filled. It is trades versus die. Man, I this is the thing with coins that has this large supply and doesn't trade against a wrapped pulse. We can't see the indicators. But on the log chart, I mean, it's still up a lot, right, from its lows. I don't know how much liquidity. It looks like it was listed with like 12k or 1k liquidity or something like that. Nothing bullish here just yet. You need to wait for a W. You are in location, but I can't catch this falling knife. I would need to see higher lows and a higher high. That's where I would be interested. And just to make that as accurate as possible, that's your higher high, this area over here. That's where I would be interested. Wherever this comes in, if it comes in here, if it comes down here, if it comes down here, or wherever it happens, that's where to take it. You're in location. Hopefully, if you've caught to this ride, you didn't buy the top. Hopefully, you took some profits, and that you can buy back some of it. That's the way this game is played. Yeah, let's look at Titan X. So there's been some controversy. I didn't participate in this at all. So apparently the buy and burn didn't go through, yet I mean, is this the right chart? It's bounced back like 2 days. Yeah, it's already bounced back. So apparently there should have been an 80 ETH buyback, but there was only like a 2 ETH buyback. But the founder has said that the buyback actually did come through. Let's look at it versus wrapped ETH. So it's already bounced back. Is this the right chart, guys? It should be the right chart, right? It's the one with the orange logo. Titan X. Oh, this one. Yeah, it's this one. So there's something else, the Titan X. Yeah, because I recognize the symbol over here. that is the symbol. So yeah, this looks more like the one that's been shared all on Twitter. A very new coin, so I don't think there's anything I can really tell you guys. Like, if it's fundamentally flawed and people have lost trust in it, there's nothing that's gonna stop this chart from going down lower. I mean, this is where you should be interested, but does this bleed forever down like Zen? Because it's a lot like Zen, except it has a buy and burn, and I really don't know the fundamentals, guys. So please don't quote me on the fundamentals because I will be wrong. I mean, the thing is, you don't want these lows to be broken because then it's price discovery to the downside. The RSI is low, but this is the hourly. The 4 hourly has sprinted and it's at 48, which is still quite high. You would want to see some bullish divergences start coming in here and getting to the oversold areas like the hourly chart down here. Let me just make it a brighter color so you guys can see it. So there is actually, that's 31. So there is some bullish divs coming in here on the hourly. This price is going lower, yet the indicator is trending or turning around. But it could easily be invalidated if this continues to dump down, and then the RSI will go with it. Concerned that this is still this high down here. I mean, guys, don't chase these things up here, right? When everybody's talking about it and shouting that this is the next best thing, right? So all you can do now is wait for market structure, wait for higher lows. Wherever this comes in, you're gonna have to watch this chart very closely if you're in love with this project. And wait for this to happen. A breakout of a higher high. Then comes down to retest the breakout level if you're lucky, and then I would be interested, because this can just continue to bleed if trust has been broken, right? Once again, I don't hate these things. I don't hate it. I hardly know anything about this project. Wherever this comes in, like, it's not the end of the world if it breaks this low back here. I mean, it just still has to wait for these higher lows to be formed. Then you need to manage your risk, not putting in your life savings in a single coin. Lots of volume, 4 million each side. Let's look at the top traders over here. So this guy has made 600k on this coin. Let's see where he's been buying. So he hasn't bought any coins and he's selling 600k, which is really weird. Either he is minted, I don't know how the minting works, if you can mint in a day, or maybe he's minted with batch minters, but this guy is killing it and he's not made a single purchase. So things like this is concerning, and is still selling at these lows. So please be very careful with this, please. Like, where you see no buys here, just selling, and he's made massive profits, right? This is life-changing money. And the fact that he's so much higher than everybody else, kind of weird. So that's just the things I kind of look out for. So we've looked at Minu, DRZ. So launched yesterday. I looked at it quickly. It had like very low liquidity, so it was launched with no liquidity. I don't like when people do that, so they get these ridiculous price charts. Only 200%, right? I'm not shilling your product, bro. It's too low liquidity. Add some liquidity at least. Yeah, let's accidentally closed my screen. So Granny, this is the coin, one of the coins that I found it, and it's down hard, right? Like people have been selling very, very hard on this 36. So is there any bullish divergences here? So no bullish divergence. This looks like capitulation. Let's just go to rapid pulse. Let's see how much we're up from the start. Still 5x from the bottom. Although it doesn't... I think that's down like 95%. If we look at what Kick did, and Kick was launched very fairly. Although Granny had some guys that helped provide liquidity. Let's see what Kick did from here. So 91% and then went up 12x over there, and I think it did like 25x versus Pulse. Yeah, so that's very normal for these things to do. So that was 93% down and then went up to do a 48x versus Pulse. So yeah, what I'm just trying to say is that, I mean, the opportunity is now here, right? Although it looks like it's absolutely down, and it is down in the dumps. But this is where we should be interested if we like these coins, right? Getting them 95% and not chasing them up here. Down when they're 95% and not chasing them down here. Let's look at versus Rapid Pulse. Yeah, so now all we need to see is we need to see some higher lows come in here. I actually might be getting some more here because the last time I got was up here, which doesn't matter, right? This is how the little old lady plays these things. She just puts in her small percentages as this continues to go lower. So yeah, hopefully it turns around. It's up like 10% from the lows as it bounced. I mean, these people that are selling down here, I mean, why, right? You had probably had a chance, but this is probably people that bought the top right and now they're capitulating, destroying the price chart. But that's fine. Let's get it reset and then we can go again. We need to see our higher lows come in. The granny will be patient and she'll be getting some when it breaks out of her higher lows. She can catch a falling knife. There's nothing wrong with that. I mean, how much more lower is it going to go after 91%? And people might say, yeah, this is a scam, whatever, but even Richard Hart tokens do a 90% retracement, right? We're getting a nice bounce here, actually, on Rapid Pulse. We're literally testing resistance now. Does this mean that BTC has broken out? No, we're still consolidating on BTC, so... Yeah, for me to get bullish on Pulse, we need to break above this level over here. Let's quickly look at KEK. But all of the altcoins are suffering a bit under the pressure, right? Even the DAI ecosystem, and that's actually one I didn't look at. As Tech Dude has asked me to take a look at that. Switch to Rapid Pulse for KEK. So KEK is actually holding up really, really well here. After making an all-time high, it's now come down another 87%. These pullbacks are very, very normal. We rallied off the bottom strongly on this daily candle. The market doesn't like V-bottoms, right? So it's going to come back and retest this base. Maybe create a few higher lows and then we can go higher. That's good market structure. But at the end of the day, this is really, really good market structure. as the chart is just making higher lows all the way up. Right, this looks very positive. Let's see if we can hold that trend line and move up from there. So let's look at the Atropa ecosystem as people are capitulating, talking trash about it, etc., etc. Now rallying off 20% as I scroll over them. So Teddy Bear up 18%, double figures. It's made a V bottom over here. What's that? Let's switch to Rapid Pulse. We should start. RSI not really oversold just yet. We are below the point of control. We are below all of the fib lines. We are at least on the other side of the trend line. What we want to see now is we want to see some higher lows come into the chart wherever this forms. And we don't have that just yet. The RSI, there's no bullish divergences here. But if you loved it here, you should be really in love with it down here. I mean, there's not much to say there. Wait for higher lows and a higher high. That's what I would do. Or catch a falling knife. I've already nibbled a little, but very small percentages on these coins. And it actually came from profits from other coins. So I've literally wasted no money on this. And these are the accumulation ranges. This is the previous high. Don't be surprised if we come back and retest that level. It's surprising how markets work, right? Breakout levels that found resistance become support. I mean, your inside location, you know, don't have bullish divergences yet. This is a V bottom. I don't like that wick there, so we're most likely going to come back and retest full that wick. Then we just have to wait for higher lows to be formed on the chart and a higher high. Or I can catch a falling knife if it goes lower. That's a die. It hasn't pegged just yet. I think the pegging is one of the most stupidest narratives, but I know why people talk about it, because the narratives are literally everything in this market. If you can make people believe about something, create a cult-like following, your coin will do pretty well. And that is what they have achieved. Although people made a lot of money on this and they're taking profits, right? And it's normal that you get a retracement like this. I don't think it's a rug pull or whatever. You need people to continue to shill it and still believe in it. And there's still some diehard believers. And I mean, on the stochastic RSI, this looks quite good. You're having a turn up now on the daily. Below all levels, you don't have a higher high just yet. Maybe you come full this area over here. Make a W, few W's maybe, and off you go. All the way back here, I was preaching that this needed to have a correction. You guys can go back and rewatch my previous videos. I mean, we covered this chart every time because there was all the rage about this coin. Not really oversold just yet, but it doesn't really have to get oversold. But that would be a lot more positive if it does. You don't know where this is going to bottom out. I mean, you can nibble at these levels, but if you want to be really safe, like the granny likes to do, she has to wait for higher lows and a higher high. Let's see, Genie. BBC chart is the most captivating chart to emerge over the last few days, correct? I can't wait for the farm to be released. It's going to be more captivating then. I've got the charts down here. I mean, I bought the literal bottom of this chart at 93 cents. It looks like it was 95, 97. I got some here at 1.3 and I got some down here. Mark my words, you're going to see this chart rocket when the farms get released. Now I've revealed the alpha. 9-inch, I sacrificed for 9-inch. I referred a few people. It's in strong profits by now. This is the hourly chart. There's bearish divergences here, but I won't be selling this before the new farms get released and the single-sided staking. Farm releases in an hour. Yeah, it does. So this has been 45 minutes. I'll go for a little bit longer, and then I need to prepare. What am I saying? Genie on Pulse Chain. Genie is a copy of Hex. I don't know if it's an exact copy. The only thing I don't like about Genie is that the sacrifice that they did is they made another coin, and I don't know if they gave themselves a massive supply or, but the you couldn't sell any of because the liquidity was very low, so they sacrificed that. They got themselves very large bags of this coin. Now I might be wrong, but that's just when I quickly looked at the chain analysis, that's what I found. So I shouldn't hate these things and I shouldn't date them. I should just trade them. So at the long term, I mean, this does not look bad. If I'm honest here, you've got higher lows on this chart. This is what that W looks like that you should be waiting for. This is the breakout level, right? This chart that I've continued been drawing you guys, right? That's the breakout level. So nice higher lows, and then if we really want cheap prices, we can pull the fib tool from here. So on the short term, this is a little bit expensive. Look how beautifully it came into the reload zone here. That was the opportunity there to get some of this. On the short term, it's kind of left the station already, but this looks like it's ready to go, honestly. I mean, let's look at the indicators. Quite high. Yeah, so I mean, if you love this, this is where you should be interested. It looks primed to start moving. Honestly, it does really not look bad. I'm closer to 30. And let's do P's in. Oh, Conrad's in. I know it's been performing really well recently. This is the nosebleed section, right? Can't chase this up here. There's probably a chart with more data, but it doesn't matter. This is the area that we should be interested. And this point of control is very low. And you guys have seen before when I do this point of control that the market tends to come down to these areas and sometimes even below it, right? So I won't be surprised if we come back to retest these levels. This is also the breakout level here, which likes to be retested. It came down, almost retested it once, but then went off. I can't be interested up here. It's too high, right? I need to wait for this to get at least a little bit more overstalled. Still very high. This is a blow off top. This needs to come down to these levels down here. Okay, I'm going to try and do these analysis quickly. Let's see. So we've done Granny. That's a Da Vinci strategy. Dido Cryptomatic always. Yeah, the little old lady style of investing is from theirrationalinvestor.com. I always shout them out because I learned everything I know from them. But they only trade on exchanges and they don't trade with DeFi. And they sell into USDC where I trade into a volatile asset like PLS or BTC. But this is not the Da Vinci strategy. Da Vinci did popularize the strategy. And I converted it to a DeFi strategy. And that's fine if you hate it, if you don't. And I'm going to write him a nice reply here, because if you sold Hex on doubles all the way up, you would have had a lot of money to buy back in down at the lows. With that being said, I'm going to finish this live stream. I want to thank everybody for coming. Do click the like button if you enjoyed it and you found it valuable, and subscribe as well. So, like I said, it looks like the market wants to retest this breakout level on Pulse, and it's pretty close to doing that, right? So, yeah, thank you for watching, guys. I'll see you in the next video. Cheers for now, and bye-bye.